All right, we are live for the Week 11 NFL Fantasy Football Start Sit Show. I'm here with Hollywood, DFF, D-Win, and Eric. Um, Honestly, Eric, I don't know your Twitter handle offhand. I think it's a jumble of letters.
Yeah.
Uh, but let's kick off the show. Let you guys introduce yourselves. Hollywood, you're the guest still, so why don't you tell everyone where they can find you and what you do?
Uh, they can find me over at Dynasty Football Factory where I do all my writing. Co-host with Dan on the IDP Nation podcast. Find me on Reddit with you in the sub. Facebook IDP Nation page. I'm on Twitter at DFFDWin. Um, I'm a little everybody's posted about every Sunday, so yeah, I've been busy writing, setting up some interviews, and it's been busy.
Nice. Who do you got lined up?
uh, One of them is a recent commit to Tennessee, an offensive guard. I'm setting up an interview with him, and then another one is he plays for Delaware, a defensive tackle for Delaware. Cam Kitchen is supposed to record with us this week, so.
Nice, very good, cool. All right, Eric. Introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Eric. I'm the editor for DFD and IDP guys. You can find me on Twitter at EGH1528. That's really about it. Me.
Nice, very good. So everyone, this is the show where we answer all your questions for your start-sit decisions for Sunday morning. Go ahead and get those questions rolling in. We answer every single one of them, so just message them through the chat links, and we will get them up on the board and answer them. Till then, let's get some that have been kind of in the back stock there in the queue. Hollywood, you got any?
Yeah, he wants to know for Yo Mama New York cousin too. He wants to know for week 11 only, Deion Jones at Carolina or Jordan Hicks at San Francisco.
I think I like. Well, you got Devondre Campbell eating up a lot of those tackles there from Deion Jones, but he's been doing all right. I like the run game the Panthers have. Probably going to go right at him. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, Hicks has played well, but I still think you got to go with Jones here.
Yeah, I think Jones as well. Both teams run a lot, so
right.
You see a lot of linebackers action from both. So I go Deion though.
Yeah. Cool. What else you got there, Hollywood?
Let's see. He wants to know pick 4 out of the 5. Darius Randall, Jesse Bates, Joe Hayden, Justin Reed, or Jordan Poyer. So I guess you pick 1 to drop out of those 4 or not play.
Didn't Hayden, or is it for this week or for the rest of the year?
It was for this. I'm assuming for this week.
Yeah, Hayden played then already.
Yeah, so I think unless you started him already, you have to drop him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If not, Randall played too already.
Yeah,
too,
he did. Yeah, he did. Let's see if we can find another one here.
Who are the other 3?
Jesse Bates, Jordan Poyer, and Justin Reed, which I like all 3 of those pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those look good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other 2 are. If you didn't start them, then I would probably do.
Here's one from Boobies McDoobies. He wants to know start Nathan Gary versus New England or Josh Bynes versus Houston. And it's a 2 point per tackle, 1 per assist, 2 for deflection, 6 interceptions, 5 for sacks and 3 for fumble recoveries and forced fumbles.
Nathan Gary or
Josh Bynes.
Josh Bynes has kind of made a resurgence, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of picked it back up. Nathan Gary. I just don't know. I think if it's me, I got to go Bynes, but
Yeah, I'm thinking Bynes here too.
Yep, that makes 3 of us.
All right. I got a question here off of YouTube from Brandon Carlos. He asks, Ravens or 49ers defense?
Ravens or 49ers.
49ers?
I go 49ers.
yes, 49ers.
They play the Cardinals. The Ravens play Houston.
Yeah.
I'll go 49ers.
Yep. All right, guys, get those questions in. We'll answer them live on air. I'm just going to get this link out on Facebook now.
I got a question.
Go for it.
Okay.
Carson Wentz or Kyler Murray? Both paid. Yeah. Wentz versus the Patriots or Murray versus the 49ers?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
What does your waiver wire look like?
Because I got Newton as out, or Baker already played.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's nothing on waiver.
Man, I want to say Wentz, but those receivers right now.
Neither of them are really good matchups.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the number 1 and number 2 defenses out there right now.
Yep.
Oh man, I think I might have to go Murray because I think his receivers are a little better. Oh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Murray also has the running game, so he can pick up some extra yardage there.
Yes, he does. Yep.
I think that's the factor that I would consider. How has Wentz been connecting with Ertz? Has that been?
Ertz had a good week last week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ertz and Goddard will be your top 2 receivers right there.
Yeah, I have Ertz on this team as well, but I'm not starting him.
Yeah, I think you still got to go Murray.
It's a dynasty league, so I have Kelsey too. So I'm running with Kelsey in my tight end slot this week. So
speaking of quarterbacks, I got one: Tom Brady versus Philly or Sam Darnold versus Washington.
Ooh, I'd still go Brady.
Yeah.
Harry's playing this week too, I think. So
it's a big play league, meaning the longer the touchdown, the more points it is.
Maybe I could kind of see Darnold just because of, Brady's probably going to carve up that defense with a good running game too. Though I guess it could end up with, what's his face there? Lev Bell doing good this week because of that poor defense. Yeah, I'd probably stick with Tom Brady.
All right.
All right. So, still waiting on some questions here. Guys, feel free, get your questions in. That's what helps the show move along.
So here's one that I answered the other day. Handsome Be Wonderful wants to know, is the Raiders scheme supportive to Eric Harris's production being sustainable?
Okay.
I said last week's production, no, because I think that's just he played out of his mind last week. But I do think he's a solid option the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so we got a question here from Periscope. Bobby Schuster, Chandler Jones, Whitehead, or Devondre Campbell?
Chandler.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been on fire lately.
Nice.
So Niners run a lot too. So
there you go.
Yep.
Cool. All right. He says thanks. All right. So make sure you guys out there are following us at IDP guys. I'm at Nate Cheech. Hollywood is at DFF_DWin. Eric is
EGH 1528.
cool. All right, here we go. Galagos Thomas, as he needs to start 2 out of Devin White, Jerome Baker, Nick Kwiatkowski this week. Thanks. So, who are you? I feel like you're not starting Nick Kwiatkowski. Who is he even starting right now?
Yeah.
I think so.
Who's out?
Yep. Oh man, what's his name? I see it, but I can't.
Roquan Smith?
No, it's not.
Or
It's not Roquan.
Trevathan?
Yes.
It might be Trevathan.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's Trevathan. Yep.
Yep. And
Okay.
Kitakowski's been. Me and Dan talked about it. Every year he shows up for like 2 or 3 game stretch. He does pretty good,
Yeah.
but for some reason after that stretch he kind of disappears. So
He didn't really show up earlier this year when Roquan was out for that one mysterious game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's usually an okay plug-in, but I don't know if I'd rely on him. Plus, Jerome pretty much has that job on lock, doesn't he, in Miami?
yes, for now anyway.
Yeah. And you're not sitting Devin White
Mm-mm.
at all.
No, you're not sitting White.
So, I think White and Baker are definitely your hard starts.
Yep.
I agree.
Cool. And he says thanks. Cool. All right. Let's see. Also, guys, make sure and hit the subscription bell for our YouTube channel, Writer Digest Network. This is where we put out all our video content. We got the F3 pod and the Start Sit show. And this off season, we're going to be ramping it up to have pretty much a show every day. So get in on that early. Help us. We're making a push to 1,000 subscribers. Just make sure and hit that little bell. And we're going to keep this going. We usually run it for about an hour. We'll go for as long as there are questions. Hollywood, anything else in the chamber? Or Eric, you got one you want to throw in?
Yeah, this
I
guy wants to
don't, but I'm
know
sure
Alvin Kamara
Nope,
or Mark
alright.
Ingram.
Kamara.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. David Matula hits us with probably more of a question for your individual podcasts. But with trade deadlines looming in a lot of leagues, what are your takes on Myles Garrett in Dynasty? Oof.
I'd still buy him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, his value is definitely low.
I think you're going to have a hard time buying him, maybe, because I think
too. And
people are not going to want to sell low because they can't get the
I mean,
value
if-
for him right now.
Yeah. I think if you have the opportunity to buy him at a low price, I would take it.
Yes.
I wouldn't give his normal value just in case he doesn't come back right away.
Right. I'll be surprised if he's back this season.
it's the lowest you can probably buy him for, and probably for a long time anyway. So
Right.
if you're gonna buy him,
Yeah.
you better buy him now.
Yeah, if you can get somebody to
If
sell
you-
him, would be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think so? Going into the season, a lot of us had Garrett as our number one defensive end. Do you think that so we had him there, but not a lot of people outside was valuing him that high.
I did.
Do you think people who bought him this last summer could still sell him low, but for more than they bought him for before? Because he was relatively unknown after last season. I mean, he was known, but not the way he came out gangbusters this year.
Possibly.
I think so. I
I think you
could-
still get a margin of profit if you sold him right now.
Yeah, it depends what state your team is in too. You know.
Yeah, and then it depends on whoever's trying to get him. It depends on what they need too. So if they have a
Absolutely.
glaring need, then there you go. You know, you might be able to squeeze a little more out of them than normal. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you think? So going into the season, a lot of us had Garrett as our number one defensive end. Do you think people who bought him this last summer could still sell him low, but for more than they bought him for before? Because he was relatively unknown after last season. I mean, he was known, but not the way he came out gangbusters this year.
Yeah,
All right. Here we go. Harris Davidson. Doyle or Ebron in PPR? Who do you like? Jack or Eric?
Doyle or Ebron? Is Brissett back this week?
Ooh, that's a good question because I'm starting.
I thought he
I heard
was.
something. Well, I heard something about it earlier, but I didn't know for sure.
It says, yeah, he is starting today against the Jags. So
Okay.
All right.
So if he's back,
I gotta adjust the lineup now.
ooh, I'm gonna go with Eric Ebron.
Yeah, old drop him a drop pants. Ebron.
I think
I've
so.
been running with Doyle for a little bit, and it's not been too terrible.
No, it's actually pretty close between those two. So
Yeah.
I think Ebron gives you a little bit more big playability and maybe
True.
a slight advantage in touchdowns, but overall, I think their games are pretty similar, scoring wise
Yeah.
for fantasy.
Yeah. All right. Dale Lang. He says, "Hey fellas, is Bradbury playing? Hearing on a few pods now that he's out, but can't find the info." James Bradbury. There is one good way of finding out, and that is looking at the report.
yeah, I think he's playing. I think
Yeah, I
Dante
think
Jackson
so.
was the one that was questionable. Yeah, he says he will play this week. So
Yeah. There it is.
Dante Jackson's the one that was questionable, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah,
There it is.
hip questionable with a hip.
Oh, okay. I sat Hoyer. That's good. Unfortunately, I'm starting Jeff Driscoll, though.
Oof.
Oh man, ouch!
I can't complain too much. I had Stafford, and I got him super late, and he's been playing lights out, but unfortunately, his back thing kind of came back. But yeah. All right. What else do we got out there? So Hollywood, how you've been keeping track of your Devi Dimes and everything? How they've been doing? Yeah, it's Saturday
doing
games
really
yesterday.
good.
Did any of them play?
Yeah, about basically all of them played yesterday. Reed Harrison Ducrow, man, I'm telling you, this kid's going to be something else when he hits. When the bowl seasons get here and combines and all that stuff, he is going to turn some heads, man. He actually started at Boise State and transferred to Duquesne. So, but man, he's going to be something else. And his teammate actually is doing super well too. David Ellison, he transferred from Syracuse to Duquesne. They've got a great looking defense, but those two right there are the stars. Of course, Bryce Huff showed out yesterday for Memphis. May have seen some of my Twitter posts showing some of that.
Yep.
Who else did I have? Evan Horn, the safety from New Hampshire, did well. Robbie Wallace did well from Wingate. There's another one I'm forgetting who it is right off the top of my head. Oh, our interview for this week, Cam Kitchen exploded. He had a huge game. So, yeah, they've all been doing really well.
Nice. That's very good. All right, here we go. We got some questions here. Drockdramus asks Galladay or D.D. Westbrook with Foles back. He said he's leaning towards Galladay, but what do you think?
I think I go Westbrook.
Yeah,
Galladay kind of scares
Driscoll.
me. Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't know enough about Driscoll and who he's targeting, how he's looking. You'd probably be able to answer that better than I could. But
I really haven't been watching those games very closely. They're sad. but from what I understand, I mean Driscoll can get it down the field, but he's not a starting quarterback. You know, he's probably less than 30, under 32 for quarterback rank. Um, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be more like a mid-range target. Um, he's going to throw more mid-range. I just don't see him really feeding Galladay the way Stafford can. And
Right.
I mean, Foles was brought in, to that organization to be the starter. So he's been working with Westbrook. Driscoll came in halfway through, not even half, like a couple weeks ago. So just there isn't a chemistry. I mean, Driscoll really doesn't have chemistry with the whole team. So
I'd go with Westbrook, though.
yeah,
trust Foles more than Driscoll.
absolutely. All right. Mulechel Mortar 51. Good morning. Need some advice. Rojo or Coleman, Ridley or McLaurin, and also would you flex Mark Andrews? So let's go with the first question. Who do you like more, Ronald Jones or Tevin Coleman?
Coleman.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Ridley
I like
or
Jones.
McLaurin? Oh, you like Jones over Kevin?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Jones played well the last few weeks.
So Bucks have Saints. So that's good defense. Tevin Coleman has Cardinals. Bad defense.
Is Coleman going to be the lead though?
Yeah,
See
I don't
that
know. They're
that
hot
scares
hand,
me
aren't
with.
they?
I think so, but I mean, you never. I just never know
Yeah.
where they're going to go. Really.
Yeah.
Ridley or McLaurin?
Let's see. The thing that saved Ronald last week, he caught 8 balls for 77 yards last week. He only had 11 carries for 29 yards.
I think I'm going Coleman there. Just with the opportunity is there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Coleman too.
And then Ridley
for that Coleman, they play. The 49ers played Cardinals 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Coleman 12 carries, 23 yards, 2 receptions, 13 yards. So he didn't do very good 2 weeks ago. So.
So it looks like a shit sandwich.
Yeah. I'd probably actually go with Ronald Jones. Like I said, he's been putting better over the past 2 weeks than Coleman has.
Yeah.
The only thing that saved Coleman was his big week against Carolina. Other than that, he hasn't. He's been under 10 points 3 of the past 4 weeks. So.
Yeah.
So then we got Ridley or McLaurin. So Ridley against
I'm
the
assuming
Panthers.
this is.
Oh.
Which Ridley?
I'm assuming
Calvin
it's
or
Calvin.
I'm sure it
Calvin.
is. Yeah.
I'll go Calvin.
Oh man, that's it.
If Dante Jackson's out, because Bradbury will probably be on Julio.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'll go with Ridley.
There we go. And would you flex Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have any better options, you got to.
Yeah. Unless you can flex McLaren.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same league.
Who it's going, who's going with. If it's like Ridley, McLaurin, or Andrews, or if it's all of these guys for that one position.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or different leagues. Who knows?
True. Could be. All right. Where's that? So Hollywood, you kind of were announcing on Twitter that you're starting a Devi podcast.
Yeah, I put up a Twitter poll to see if there was any interest. I've been kind of thinking about it and put up a poll, and most people wanted it, and I think some of the others that didn't were kind of maybe not true IDP players in a sense. So, yeah, I think this is going to be something that if I can get Dan on board to help me, it's not going to be nothing big. Maybe like a 30-minute show where we go over some Devy stars getting, especially now that draft season is getting ready to turn up around the corner here pretty soon. I think it's going to be something we're going to do. I haven't really laid out the outline for it yet, but maybe in season it's going to be a type of, these are the players you should be targeting for your college leagues or looking forward towards next year when draft season comes. And then I guess, after the season, we kind of look at prospects and who's some of the better options and all that stuff. We haven't quite outlined it yet. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be something that's going to be happening here pretty soon.
Nice. That's pretty cool. That sounds good. I look forward to hearing it once it gets going.
There just doesn't seem to be enough info or anything for IDP Davy. I mean, that's kind of where I went with it, and I'm always a defensive guy, so I was like, you know what, I think this would be something everybody would enjoy and could use. And
I voted yes on it, just for the record.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always getting questions from like Eric and Peter, and there's a bunch of my followers. They're into the college IDP Davy, so they're like, you know what do you think about this guy and this guy? And I was like, well, if I'm getting all these questions, why not?
So what do you guys play college IDP on? MFL?
It's Fantrax.
Fantrax.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantrax? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Actually, I'm in Eric's league right now. And I'm
in the semis.
Yep.
Well, since as some of these questions pile up, we have one from YouTube we'll get to in a second. But Eric, you're always posting about openings in your leagues, and you've got some interesting setups for your leagues. You want to go into that a little bit and just talk about you've got that multi-sport league and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually run three of them. So the one that's been going on for 10 years has the major 4 sports plus college football, college basketball, and EPL soccer.
Wow.
So that one's got 10, and then I got one that's a Devy one that I just started up. That's a 6 sport. That's the 4 major plus the college basketball, college football, and then trying to do the Devy baseball and hockey. Just a couple guys. I mean, because it's hard for those. And then the third one is just the major 4 sports. So, and I've been doing the one for 10 years now. So, and dabble in college and so.
The one I'm wanting to get into is a campus to Canton league.
Yep.
I never played those, but I think next year I'm going to try to get into that.
That sounds pretty interesting. I've always wanted to get into Devy and college sports and stuff. Mostly football. I really am not a fan of any other sports in particular.
Right.
But John always gets me into since Yahoo started up the college fantasy, I'm in there, and halfway through the season I just kind of give up because I'm not really watching the games. I don't know who these guys are, so one of these years I'll get my shit together.
Right.
But here we go. Your boy Bart, he says, what's thoughts on Deebo Samuel this week with Sanders trying to play through his rib injury?
I like him if he's out. If Samuels is out for some reason, definitely like Deebo. I think his value goes up.
Yeah, are they the late game this week or the early game?
I want to say 4:00, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, that's a late game. So I do like Deebo if Sanders is out, but I'd still run with Sanders if he's playing, even with the rib injury.
Yeah.
He had a big week against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago, so.
That's for sure. So let's talk a little bit about our teams.
Oh, good grief!
The Titans and the Lions are nothing to talk about. How are the Panthers doing? Eric?
Honestly, they got screwed last week. I'm just gonna throw that out there, but.
Oh yeah. Who did they play last week?
In Green Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Generally,
you get screwed against Green Bay.
There was play. McCoy went for the sack, and they said they put all his weight on him, and you could clearly see from the video it didn't happen. And
I actually watched that.
Consequently, the Packers went right down the field and scored. Well, no, we stopped him at the goal line, but that was a good goal line stand, by the way.
So I got to ask, you live in Colorado. How are you a Panther fan?
Well, see, I was born in North Dakota, so there is no teams there.
Right.
And I didn't want to be a Vikings fan or a Packers fan, Broncos. I was 8 when I chose the Panthers, and ever since. So I like their colors. That's the reason why. That's at least what my mom and dad say.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you've had some good years at least.
Yep.
Can't bring them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That was brutal. I had to listen to all the Bronco fans. Yeah, that was brutal. That was brutal. Oh, you're a bandwagon fan. I was like, I've been a Panthers fan longer than you've been a Broncos fan, probably. So.
Oh man, that's rough. But
it's all right. They're falling on hard times, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that tends to be the case.
So what's the deal with Newton? Is he going to be back?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I can see them because I think next year's the last year of his contract anyway.
Right.
So I don't know.
I mean, Allen seems to be playing pretty decent.
Decent. Yeah, for as much flack as the Panthers got for keeping Allen over Heineke.
Right.
I think he's holding his own.
Yeah, especially with little as experience as he's had. I mean, I think he's done really well.
That helps when you have McCaffrey in the backfield too. That's
just true. And he's got some good young receivers. Love DJ Moore.
Yeah, and Samuel and Olsen. Yeah. Look, Olsen, he's getting up there, but he can still do what he does. So
he come back next year?
I hope so.
Cool.
He's probably one of my favorite players on that team. So
beat him today, so he better step up the game.
I hope so. They play Atlanta, so it's always a trap game with these two. You never know. It's the year where Carolina went 15-1. They lost to the Falcons that year. Those two always fight each other hard.
Yeah.
They're not far from each other, so beat them up.
All right. Well, I think we'll take last call now. I had to get up super early. My kitchen island fell over.
Nice.
Everything crashed, so been up and cleaning that all day. So if anyone's got any last call, any questions, we will take them, but we're going to wrap this bad boy up. While we wait for those questions to come in, Hollywood, just give the listeners a quick reminder where they can find you, what you're putting out, and maybe what your next article or podcast will be about.
So again, you can follow me at Dynasty Football Factory. Just had a rookie recap article post this morning for last week. Do that every week. Do the stock market every week. Co-host IDP Nation with Dan. I'm on here every Sunday basically with you. Made some other appearances. Oh, one I need to mention. I mentioned it on our show. So I dropped by Coach's Vipercast pod there last week, and he had Bob Lung on.
Yeah.
Many of you know Bob does the consistency guide, does a bang-up job on it. Love it. And was just asking some questions. They were already talking when I dropped in and asking some questions, and I said, out of the blue, do you have any IDP stuff in the works on the horizon? And he broke news on Coach's pod that yes, they are going to try to put together a consistency guide this year for IDP.
Cool.
Which is huge news. And so that's going on. And he's even me and him kind of talked. I think he's going to allow me to be a part of that with him. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I do some side stuff for Tennessee Vols. You can follow me at All Vols Call-In Show. I write for them a little bit. Got the Devy podcast coming up. I think that's going to go since Eric really, really, really wants it. But yeah, I think we're going to make that happen. I'm just a little bit everywhere right now.
Nice. All right, Eric, you want plug anything? Talk about where people can find you.
Yeah. Again, you can find me on Twitter at EGH1528. DMs are always open. Questions, and I got a couple weeks ago. But other than that, yeah, just doing some editing.
Awesome. Well, you do a great job.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys, for
Yep.
coming on the show. Make sure everyone out there follow us at IDP Guys, at Dynasty FB Digest, at F3 Pod. Individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. And with that, we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Good luck with all your leagues, and see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Thanks for having me on.